Hi everyone, my name is Franklin Pyokpung Zaure, and the topic of my research is eco-scenography and sustainable theater practice in Nigeria. Staging Ahmed Yerima's Mojagbe at the ABU Studio Theater. Sustainability today is the order of the day as experts, practitioners, activists, academics, amongst many others in diverse fields of the world are contributing to a sustainable future for the next generation. The increased global climate crisis urges practitioners and experts in all areas of life to take into consideration the kind of contribution their work brings to the climate system, as it is crucial that ecological consciousness guides our thinking while we go about our day-to-day activities. Theater, of course, can serve as a catalyst for this change that we seek, as performances can be used to engage audiences on climate issues. The African gap in eco-scenography is obvious as there are not so much research in the area of sustainable theater, sustainable design, to be to be specific, to be precise, which was part of what drove me to start researching and focusing on the area of eco-scenography, which I started researching from 2019. So ecological design is underexplored in the African theater space. And these are due to many reasons, one of which is clearly the insufficient knowledge and awareness about climate issues and causes and ways to mitigate this crisis, some of which are cultural and then environmental. And a lot of times um, economic reasons, economic reasons contribute to part of this lack of the practice and this insufficient practice in the area. And of course, since there's the gradual growth and research in the area of eco-scenography, uh, design and technical theater, and then that's consciousness, environmental consciousness. It is important that the African examples are also featured on the global academic space stage. Yeah. So yes, from my research, I got to realize that the Nigerian theater space rely mostly on wood, dependency in wood, and also there's the challenge of poor waste management. Of course, also from the theater perspective, where people design for designing sake, of course, for the performance, and we end up not minding how we dispose the waste, designers, so which calls for attention. And yes, the heavy reliance on timbers for set construction is obvious when you research most materials in the African Nigerian space. You see the heavy reliance on timber for constructions, which also contribute to tree felling. And we know how important trees are to the climate system. So yes, because of the challenges and the gap that I've noticed in eco-scenography, the research, the slim presence of materials in the area of eco-scenography, I thought to explore with Mojagbe to suggest alternative materials that could substitute for wood. So in Mojagbe performance, I explored with apple palm branches, which is called dinya. That's a tree up there. Just by the side is some of the dried branches that are falling off. So the tree usually sheds off its branches. And going through the material, I realized this could actually substitute for some of the materials. And yes, which I used to explore. If you check the stage, you see some of the props. They are all used gotten from the apple palm tree branches, and also palm kernel shafts. I use the palm kernel shafts to explore lion skin instead of hunting down animals and using the skin. The palm kernel shafts was used for to create lion skin, and then papers were gotten and which I used to sculpt the face of the lion. And yeah, it's not so clear here. I think I made a mistake. I should have gotten a much more clearer picture, but if you look closely there, that is the lion head right there behind the guard standing. So yes, the lion head and the skin is what I use there in the because in the king's palace in the ancient Oyo Empire, the lion is used to signify the king as a warrior. So I use that to explore the space and further enhance the character of the king. Yeah, so some of the other materials that I use, sorry, I've zoomed out too much, is the raft which was used to make the mat down there, and the mat was used as part of the background. Sorry, was used as part of the background. If you look closely, you see the background there. The mat is some raft material. So I explored with local materials that are found around, especially northern part of Nigeria. Of course, even other parts of Nigeria, Africa, we could get a lot of these materials. And I also explored with, you could see some clothes materials there. These were found materials that were washed and reused. So part of what I proposed in this research was reusing, repurposing, and in a way also recycling of materials instead of going to keep exploring or exploiting timbers that gotten from trees. So yes, there were other materials that I used that are not featured here, but yeah, these are mostly the materials that I use. So the goal of the study was to explore the alternative materials, like I said, for scenic design and to reduce ecological footprint of productions and to promote eco-scenography in the Nigerian theater and film. From interviews that I conducted, it was obvious that both film and theater um, contribute in climate crisis as trees have been fallen to stage and shoot movies in the Nigerian theater and film spaces. Yes, so local practice and global impact. It's important that local practice are featured in the global space because I believe strongly that there are lessons to be learned from local practices and approaches as the African space has a lot of untapped materials and resources that could be explored if properly checked and if the right knowledge goes around to help practitioners understand how to approach ecological designs and eco theater practice. So yes, which is why it's important that what we have in Africa, Nigeria, gets to the global stage so that the rest of the world will learn from what we have. Uh, yes, and which calls for uh, collaboration across disciplines all over the world because I believe that collaboration will go a long way to help us save this world that we have because this is only what I have for now. Thank you. Yep.